Jesse E. Salas Jr. was born in 1955 in Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
It may sound kind of like cheesy or corny, but I'm proud to be an American, but I'm also Hispanic. I mean, my raíces, my roots came from Mexico, and then from there, they came from Morocco and Spain.
His family were of Mexican descent, fleeing the revolution in Mexico City through El Paso. His father, who stood 5'1", served in the Army for 20 years in the 82nd Airborne in World War II and also saw action in Korea. Facing racial discrimination and hopeful of greater opportunity to work, he moved his young family west to North Las Vegas in 1964.
When we first moved out here, I hated this place. It was hot. We were originally from North Carolina, and then we went to Fort Irwin for a little while because my dad was in the Army. When my dad got transferred to Nuremberg, we stayed here in Las Vegas. But when my dad came back, oh man, it was a mess. I didn't realize my mom and dad had a love-hate relationship, but he was lovable at the same time. So it was an amazing paradox. And a lot of times my mom wanted to break away, and she never would.
Jesse's mother and aunt found work at the Sahara Hotel. At that time, many Hispanics were employed as maids, kitchen staff, sanitation workers, and laborers.
My mom used to say in Spanish, she said, "De joven la raza," which means that the Mexican race has come over in droves. And I'm proud of that fact, and they're getting ahead and becoming somebody in this country.
Jesse Jr. was determined he would work hard at school and get an education and try to aim higher. Jesse and his sister Julia attended Rancho High School during the turbulent riots, graduating in 1973.
It was an interesting time in our lives, especially when you see cops. They're driving their motorcycles onto the lawn and skidding and trying to disperse everybody, and we're going, what the hell is going on? That's the first thing that we knew about riots. And then we scattered about, and there were fist fights and this and that everywhere we went. But a lot of us football players got together and, we tried to stop it. And I go, what are you doing? And it was sad to see because it was just in Rancho. I mean, it was incidents at Valley and Western too. Unfortunately, the most part of it was the news media, how they portrayed us as thugs. And we've always had that moniker of a thug school. And it was sad because there was a lot of good kids in there. And what's so sad is if you were to go back and see the graduation rates, there was a lot of us that ended up going and furthering our education.
Encouraged by his high school wrestling and football coach, Dennis Thinfrock, and with state wrestling awards, Jesse was able to attend UNLV on a sports scholarship, gaining his degree in physical education in 1979.
It was Coach Dittmeyer that inspired me to become a PE teacher. I mean, he was the one that kind of like molded me. And then in junior high, there was Mr. Henson and Mr. Trousdale, and even coaches. I mean, the one that inspired me the most was probably Coach Lopez, who was a football coach. Back then there weren't too many educated Hispanics, or especially Mexican Americans. So I'm glad to see that there's a lot more now, because the kids look up to that.
Jesse's first posting was at Kenny Gwynn Middle School, helping children throughout the Clark County School District, coaching basketball, girls basketball, and track and field. He went on to then teach at El Mondo High School, Mojave High School, and finally returned to Rancho to teach.
Miss Barkley, but she's the one that made it happen. I was on the way to El Dorado, and I was ready to sign the transfer papers and all, and she said, "Hey, you want to teach PE at Rancho?" And then I go, whoa, my old high school. I knew that was the first thing that went through my head was, that's my way to pay back to the community. But when I took over, it was a program that was, oh man. I used to make fun of them. I used to go, you're not lambs, you're not rams, you're green onions, you're making my eyes cry, and God, you're just terrible. But in 2 years, we turned that program around. So I told them, it's got to come from inside. If you don't want it from inside, no, it's not going to happen. Well, through the years, I made a collection of pennants, college pennants. It didn't just start at Rancho, it started back when I was at Cashman. It inspires these kids that, hey, you can go to any of these colleges, universities. So the collection started like that. And it's kind of like a tradition now that, if you go to one of the schools, they come back with your flag and put it up there.
Jesse married his high school sweetheart, Jasmina, and they have been together for over 26 years.
Going back to Rancho, I do want to say that it was an honor and my privilege to have gone back there. I mean, it made me feel proud of my accomplishments, as well as being a role model for these kids, that, you know what, if a kid from this neighborhood can do it, so can you.